In California, a Trump supporter's wife was taken into ICE custody. What's his reaction? He says he'll continue to support MAGA, and he still has a Trump flag hanging on his property. Let's discuss. I'm Dave Aronberg, former state attorney for Palm Beach County, a.k.a. the Florida lawman here on Legal AF. Yeah, there's a lot of buyer's remorse going on as people see that their loved ones, their employees are getting rounded up by ICE, taken into custody. This one may be just totally the most bizarre story that we've seen on that front, because in California, there's a husband of a woman who is taken into custody, and he says he's going to continue to support MAGA. And not only is the husband a Trump supporter, but his wife, who is taken into custody, is one as well. According to Fox 11 News in Los Angeles, an Iranian woman who has expressed support for President Trump was detained by federal agents outside her home in Diamond Bar, California. Quote, "Trump is not trying to do anything bad," said Arthu Sahakian. "We understand what he's doing. He wants the best for the country. I'm just trying to make the best of it. I don't want any families to go through this. If they are, I apologize for what they're going through because it's hard." A home surveillance video shows federal agents outside Sahakian's home Monday. His wife, Arpane Masihi, can be seen going inside their house to say bye to their 4 children. "She came and kissed the kids, and that was it," said Sahakian. "That was the last time we saw her." Sahakian said his wife was born in Iran and came to the United States when she was 3 years old as a refugee. Then, roughly 15 years ago, her green card was revoked over a conviction related to theft. While Sahakian says it was for misdemeanor stuff, they've been going through the legal process ever since to try to regain her citizenship. Mind you, Trump campaigned on making migrants who have committed crimes his top target. And he hasn't really been doing that because they just had quotas, 5,000 a day, whatever Stephen Miller says, so that they can have those numbers, regardless of whether the people who have overstayed their visas or who don't have the right papers have committed crimes or not. But this individual had committed a crime, and yet she still, and her husband, supported Trump. And after he got elected, and after the wife got taken into custody, they still support Trump. I'm not saying it's a cult. I'm saying that this is bizarre behavior. Do that. Take that out. Am I missing something here? The grip that the MAGA movement has on many of their supporters is just unbelievable. Usually when a politician does something that hurts you, like take away your Medicaid, you vote against that person. What about if they round up your wife and send her into a detention facility? Maybe you want to write a letter to your member of Congress and complain. But this guy is different. Quote, according to this article, "I'm very for the United States vetting Iranian nationals because of the sleeper cells," said Sahakian. "I think it will resolve a lot of issues because we'll know exactly who's in here for what reasons. Even though I miss my wife dearly, I think we could have a faster process where they determine she's not a radical or tied to the crazies. Let her out." And we've seen this before where people who voted for him, who could be rounded up themselves, say, "Well, I never thought it would be us, right? I never thought that the face-eating leopards would eat my own face. I thought it would be those others, the criminals." Even though his wife has a criminal record, it's the crazies. Who are the crazies? People with criminal records? Okay. I mean, obviously, if there are sleeper cells here, terrorist cells from Iran, you want to round them up. But this woman is rounded up not because she's part of a sleeper cell. She's rounded up because she overstayed her green card and has a prior crime, a prior misdemeanor. Sahakian tells Fox 11 he and his family are proud President Trump supporters. He believes Trump is trying to make the country safer through immigration enforcement efforts. However, he admits his opinion has slightly changed recently. Slightly? Quote, "Somewhat it has just because I'm going through it," said Sahakian. "I was very selfish before, but what I see now is there's a reason for this immigration enforcement." Sahakian's wife, Masih, called her family during the Fox 11 interview. She was very emotional, fighting back tears, unsure what could happen with her immigration status. "I'm on the list to be going to a different facility," said Arpine over the phone. Sahakian says he will continue to have Trump flags and signs outside their home. Quote, "I'm still supporting Trump," said Sahakian, "even though my friends say, take the flag down, you're going through a lot." I'm like, no, the flag stands. Yes. Keep your flag up. It's one thing to continue to support someone and not to admit you made a mistake. Okay, there's a disconnect with people. People don't like to admit they're wrong. It's tough to get deprogrammed or to just admit you made a mistake, have buyer's remorse. It's tough to admit it to outsiders. But to continue flying the flag, that's literally continuing to fly the flag of being a Trump supporter after your wife is now in custody and you say you miss her dearly. And the Department of Homeland Security has released a statement. So apparently this matter has received enough attention. The DHS released the following statement. On June 30th, ICE arrested Arpana Kamal Masih, a criminal, illegal alien from Iran. She was convicted of burglary and sentenced to 2 years in prison in 2008. Now, sidebar here. Looks like that's not a misdemeanor. Misdemeanor is a crime punishable by a year in jail or less. So this looks like a felony. Generally, a burglary conviction would be a felony. So her husband seems to be wrong on the law, as well as confused politically as to where he stands. Following her criminal conviction, she was placed into immigration proceedings. A judge issued her a final order removal on June 24th, 2009. She had more than 15 years to self-deport and leave the U.S. Under President Trump and Secretary Noem, if you break the law, you will face the consequences. Criminal, illegal aliens are not welcome in the U.S. This leads me to ask the question of what were they thinking? What is this couple thinking? Who not only support Trump, they have a flag in the yard and still keep it up. And who did they think that Trump was referring to when he said that he's going to deport people who are here illegally? Who do you think that he was referring to when he said he would go after those who committed crimes as undocumented migrants? It was always the other. And this is what can be so frustrating. It's because you would think people would vote based on their own self-interest, economic interests, political, geopolitical interest, maybe interest related to their own immigration status where they're not going to be detained, they're not going to be sent home. But there is that disconnect where people who are here without proper paperwork think that it's everyone else that's going to get rounded up. People like in South Florida, in Miami-Dade County, Trump did very well amongst the Venezuelan community, a community that normally votes Democratic. But in this last election, they flipped to Trump. Miami-Dade County went red, a formerly very blue county. Miami-Dade County, majority Hispanic county. And now there's an FIU poll that shows that Florida Venezuelans, once pro-Trump, soured and polarized about him. About 80% of the respondents, half of whom are U.S. citizen voters, say Trump's move to end temporary protected status for Venezuelan migrants, which a federal judge has currently put on pause, is unjust. Almost as many say the same about his ending their humanitarian parole, an executive action that has also been halted by a federal court halt. And most feel Trump's deportation of Venezuelans to El Salvador after accusing them of being terrorist gang members without due process is not lawful. In that case, too, a federal judge has ruled that Trump's use of the 1798 Alien Enemies Act in those cases is not constitutional. About 40% of them said they will in the future vote for either a Democratic, independent, or non-MAGA candidate. That's all a marked turnaround from November when Trump won almost 2/3 of the vote in Florida's largest Venezuelan enclave, the city of Doral, aka Dorazuela. One of the poll's notable posts is that only 32% of the Florida Venezuelan respondents who voted in November said openly that they voted for Trump, despite the 61% he scored in Doral, while more than a fifth preferred not to say whom they voted for. So it's much easier to say nothing as to say, yes, they have buyer's remorse, they regret it, they made a mistake, they were fooled. Well, I know for a lot of us, we just say, we told you so. We tried to tell people this was coming. And when someone tells you who they are, believe them. And yet, I guess they always thought that the rhetoric was going to apply to everyone else. Then it hits home. But I've never seen it hit home more than that Iranian couple where they still continue to support Trump and he still flies the flagpole, literally. Unbelievable. So that's the latest dispatch from South Florida and Southern California. I'm Dave Aronberg, a.k.a. the Florida Law Man. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share with a friend, leave a comment below. Thank you for all your support. And check out my new book, Fighting the Florida Shuffle, which goes into how federal law unwittingly enables, fuels the corruption in the drug treatment industry. Big money continues to corrupt an industry that's supposed to help people get well, but instead there are too many leaving in an ambulance or a body bag. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
New Meidas merch drop! Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more, all at store.MeidasTouch.com.